Greetings and welcome. My name is Selena Belisle and I am the founder of CE Institute. I also teach a lot of classes here with my fellow instructors. In this short video, we're going to give you some information on how you would attend one of our live interactive webinars. Today's quick start video will only provide instructions and information about how to attend your webinar. This quick start video is about how to operate the webinar system within your own device. All information about your subject will be reviewed on the day that your class is scheduled. If we provide the information too quickly in this quick start video, feel free to rewind or go back and watch this more than once so that you'll be able to get a better understanding of which icons do which features while attending your webinar. We've added quite a bit of written information in this presentation. Feel free to use the pause and play buttons if you want to pause for a moment and read the information during this short quick start video. One of the things that you want to do to prepare yourself for your webinar is to check your device compatibility. Here's the website address that you would want to click when you're on your device to make sure it's compatible. We're going to email you this URL link, and you can also find this website link on our webinar facts and policies page. We recommend students to use an Ethernet cable as pictured here to hardwire their computer device to the internet modem. If you use Wi-Fi, wireless connection frequently drops every day. You might not notice it, but it's dropped. This will disconnect you from our program. You can log out and log back in if this happens. You'll want to use a laptop or computer device to attend your webinar. Cell phones and Chromebooks are not recommended. You might be able to use them and view and hear the presentation, but some features such as polling or student breakout sessions might not be available on a lesser robust computer device. Most students should be able to log into and watch our webinars by clicking on the Join link that we will email you before your class. The Join link will be emailed to you 1 week, 1 day, and 1 hour prior to your webinar. All classes are taught in Eastern Standard Time, and we ask that you log in 30 minutes prior to the start of training. This will give you the opportunity to download your materials if you haven't already, test your webcam if you wish to share this, or call the 1-833 software support line if you need any additional assistance with your computer device or our software. Some of you might get a screen that looks like this when you're trying to open your webinar and attend. There's going to be a white pop-up and it says Open Go to Opener in the white box. We have a red arrow pointing to it. Make sure that you click on that button if you do see this screen or pop-up so that you can attend. Depending on your computer device, you might get a screen that looks like this. Now, when you're logging in, you're going to need to click that black button at the bottom of the page that says, "Okay, I'm ready," if you do see a button that says that. That's going to allow you to log into the webinar and see the training and use the chat box and share your webcam if you wish to as well. Your instructor cannot control any of the webinar features on your personal computer device. So if you need louder audio, it is recommended by the webinar manufacturer to use a headset to be able to increase the audio volume on your own computer device. You'll be able to share your webcam like I am right now. During your training, you'll be able to see the instructor in a thumbnail like you can see me at the top of this presentation over a PowerPoint slide. You might watch videos and so forth, and you'll always be able to see your instructor with that. You might also see other students in thumbnails too. To share your own camera so that you're displayed in a thumbnail, you're simply going to depress the camera icon, and we've circled that with a red arrow at the bottom of our screen. Now, your camera icon might be on the right, left, or top of your screen. Different devices might have these icons in different places on your monitor. Also, if you don't want to see the other students and their thumbnails, you can simply click at the top of the screen it says talking, and you can change that to active cameras and only see the students who are actively sharing. You can change it to whoever's talking. That will be your instructor. And you can play with some of these different icons and settings so that you can get the very best presentation. They're for your individual preferences. Sometimes students forget that they're sharing their webcam during a webinar. So please be sure when you're having your client get ready for live hands-on practice, if you do have a live model to practice on, that you do not have them dress or undress in front of your webcam. Just keep in mind when you're sharing your webcam, you wouldn't want to do anything that wouldn't be appropriate in a regular live classroom. That also includes making sure that you are professionally attired. We don't allow men to work with their shirts off and stuff like that during our live webinars. At the bottom of your screen here, if your control panel is on the bottom of your screen, you'll see that we put a red arrow next to and put a yellow box around the microphone icon. We usually keep students' microphones muted during the webinar. We do want to interact with you, but we ask that students use the chat box instead. This helps prevent all the background noise of babies crying and telephones ringing and TVs playing in the background. We've just found it a little bit too distracting when everybody's microphone was on. So we mute these, and we're going to ask you to use the chat box if you have a question for your instructor. So the chat button is a little square, and then it looks like a little V at the bottom of it, kind of like you see in the cartoons. You're going to want to click on this button on this computer screen. We can see it in the upper right-hand corner, but it might be in a different area on your computer screen. Just simply click that, and you'll be able to view what the other students are saying and enter your own message. Once you click that chat icon, I highlighted in a red box where you can enter your chat message. It might look a little different on your computer device depending on what you're using. Now keep in mind that your chat should be to everybody in your group training so that people can see the different questions that are being asked and what the instructor is responding to. Please don't send private messages to the instructor. The instructor is having private conversations in addition to the group chat and teaching the group training. There is no private instruction during our group webinars, but if you do have a question for the school, you can email it to us by responding to any of the emails we have sent you. If you require computer device support, such as how to share your webcam or how to see live video, please call the 1-833 webinar software support phone number that we will email you 1 hour prior to the start of your training. Never use the class chat for computer device questions. We email students 1 week, 1 day, and 1 hour prior to their webinar with an email that has a gray section at the bottom of it that has this number 1. Please review the materials. Please click on this to review and download your student materials. After you register for class, we're going to send you some emails. These emails will ask you to have certain items available if you'd like to participate in hands-on training. Please be sure to have these items available during your webinar so that you can participate in the hands-on activities. If you didn't get a chance to download your student materials prior to the start of the training, you'll get one more chance during your training. Once that day's training is over, you will no longer have access to those materials to download them. We do not email these to students. Please don't email us looking for handouts and workbooks and PDFs and so forth. We do not email these to students. So if you're having any issues downloading your materials, you can call that 1-833 software support number that we provide during your training, and we email you
1 hour before your training with that software support information, and make sure you get these downloaded. Now, sometimes you might see video links in the materials during your training. You won't be able to download those, okay? The videos are silent. They're only for instructor presentation to share with you during the training so you can watch and see the hands-on technique. But all of the PDFs, the handouts, the workbooks, the sequence, the protocols, those are yours to keep if you download them. So make sure you get them downloaded. They're right here where the paper icon is with the paper clip button. When you click that icon, the list of the materials available to you in your training, the PDFs will be right there underneath that materials section.
Most of our webinars have hands-on training with live models, not all, but most. Please read our webinar class emails for specific details if live model practice is available and what time your live model should be available for practice. Please use standard precautions during COVID-19. To avoid computer burnout and fatigue, we will provide a 10-minute break every hour of class. We also enjoy a 30-minute meal break during most webinars. If you need to plan your meal break, please simply ask your instructor what time it will be provided to plan accordingly. If the school's connection to the webinar is lost for any reason, we ask that students review their materials until the school is able to reactivate their connection to the webinar. The school does have contingency plans in place to reactivate within 15 minutes of any loss. Students should also develop backup plans and options to view their webinar in case of technical failures such as internet or loss of electricity. It's okay if a student doesn't have a backup option, as long as the student is aware that they will not receive CE credit for time that they have not attended. We provide CE certificates for all students who complete our classes. However, a certificate does not replace a license to practice bodywork or healthcare. If you're unsure if the class you're taking is within your scope of practice, please contact your state licensing board to ask them. The next few slides that we're going to review are some of our facts and policies for our webinars. To review all of our facts and policies for our webinars, please view these on our website. We require these policies to issue CE credit for licensees. If a student requires CE credit for their training, they must check with their own board, and they should do so prior to registering or taking any class with any CE provider. It's the student's responsibility to check with their board and make sure they're getting the right type of credit before taking class. To receive a CE certificate, please register and sign into the webinar under your own name. Please do not log in with multiple devices. It's one login per student registration. This is required for our school's CE attendance records to issue CE certificates. CE certificates will be emailed to students within 1 week of class completion. Please download or print your CE certificate as soon as you receive it. The school does charge a $25 administrative fee to reproduce a CE certificate after we've initially emailed them to students. We ask that students be available to answer questions or demonstrate work during the webinar. Students do not have to practice hands-on skills to receive their CE certificate, but we do need to know that they are present by chatting in the chat box or answering our questions when asked. We ask that students remain professional during webinar attendance. This includes staying on topic with the subject that's being taught and to use their webcam in a professional manner. Use professional language with a professional appearance at all times to avoid being dismissed or terminated from the webinar. CE Institute is not responsible for internet technology failures on the behalf of the school or student, nor is the school responsible for any student purchases made to attend the webinar. We also only provide CE credit for the time that the class is scheduled.
All of our education at CE Institute is deeply discounted. Our company motto is quality, affordable education. So if there's any computer issues during your training, we just ask students to keep that in mind. We're providing deeply discounted training so that you can enjoy it and get the very most out of it without breaking your wallet and having huge expectations for something that you've overpaid for. So we hope you enjoy your live interactive webinar.
And that's the conclusion to our webinar Quick Start video. If you have any questions, please email us at info@ceinstitute.com. And also feel free to watch this Quick Start video as many times as you wish to familiarize yourself with the processes and features.